All right, folks, good morning. Let's go ahead and get airborne. Everybody gets a free drink on me because I'm in the, I was in the wrong room. What's up, buddy? How are you? Have to say hi to my son here. Guys, give me one more second. Give me just a couple more minutes to make sure everybody is in the right room here. Hey guys, real quick, let me get we had some bad comms this morning with my techie. How many of you are new? Because my members are in here, my members are in the right place. I take responsibility for all the new Options Weapons School folks potentially binging in the wrong place here. So give me a, exactly, Nate, make my drink a Pepto. Everybody gets free drinks in Lake Tahoe on me because of this. So let me make sure we get we literally have thousands of people registered for Options Weapons School and don't want to goon this up. So indulge me for about one more minute as my techie and my support get the tired, huddled masses. And because of my goon up, I'm actually going to get 3 trades out today instead of the 2 we are going to do. So give me one second. Let's do the time warp again. All right, guys. So give me, yeah, Craig, this is, you can count on one hand the number of times in Top Gun Options history, or even my career since I was in the military, I've been late for anything. This is probably the 3rd time in 20 some years. So give me 1 second, guys, and we'll be right. Oh, Rogelio and John, I'm glad you guys were worried. That means you guys you care about me. So give me 1 more second, about 1 more minute to make sure everybody gets in here who's supposed to be here, and I'll be right back. I swear. All right, guys, we are good to go. We are getting the tired, huddled masses over to the right room, and we should be getting airborne here. All right, like I said, I'll make up for it. Join us in Lake Tahoe the first week in November, and everybody drinks free. We'll bring some Camus and some cake bread. Hell, we might even drive over to Napa and grab it. Welcome aboard, guys. Day 2 of Options Weapons School. Our full week of live trading and training here at Top Gun Options. Here's our weekly flight schedule. Last night we knocked out our welcome aboard at 8 p.m. All times are on the flight schedule here are going to be Eastern. You're in it right now. The primary live trade brief starting about 15 minutes late. That's all on me. We're going to take a look at some weekly trades, which are up about 50% in a day. Let me get a hell yeah, or last time I looked. They're giving some back. We're going to leg into an iron condor here in a couple minutes, and I'm going to show you what those things are all about. But these were up at the open 50% in a day. So anybody who likes 50% gain in a day, you might like weekly options. So Tomorrow night, I'm going to give you some vertical spread training at 7. It's going to be a demonstration of the type of training you're going to get with Options Weapon School. We're going to do vertical spread training for about an hour, hour and a half. So again, if you don't know what the hell an iron condor is or a vertical spread is, you're in the right place, and I'm going to teach you all these things that you need to know. Tomorrow night, we're also going to open our slots. Only 25 when we do Options Weapon School. I think down the road we might have to open it up to 50 instead of doing 25 like we did in May and 25 now. We might just do it like 50 that we do for a full throttle. I'll talk more about that tomorrow night. I'll do another live trade brief at 10 a.m. Thursday. We'll cover our urgent alert service. And then finally, we're going to knock out our weekly options live trading session at 1 p.m. on Friday and also debrief. And most likely by Friday, we'll have our 25 slots full. Today's brief. Real quick intro to Top Gun Options because I did it all last night. I'm going to cover our portfolio performance year to date. Last night I covered the 2016 performance, which was career for me. Epic career because I was one of the few, you can count them on 4 fingers, the number of financial professionals who predicted a Trump win and a 10 to 15% market rally, and you're looking at one of them. That's a pretty big deal. So, but it's also July, so why are we talking about 2016 performance? What have you done for me lately, Wiz? That's what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about our trading and training methodology, our 7-step trade plan. I'm going to breeze through, folks, but look in the lower right in your handout section here. You should have a copy of the trade plan, and actually you don't, so let me throw it up there. Since I'm in a new room, let me do that right there. So that's loading right there, guys. If you didn't get it last night, there it is. There's your trade plan. You could go ahead and grab it. I did about a 20-25 minute in-depth dive of the trade plan last night, so watch the replay. We're going to go over our acronym very briefly of Not Fear 2017, and since I was late, I'm going to take a look at trades on Goldman Sachs, Apple, and SPX, okay? Tactical items. Let's blow through these real quick. If you did not attend last night, here is the replay page. There it is right there. There's the replay from last night. That's the welcome aboard. You'll know about me, Top Gun Options, our proprietary investing methodology, and our trade plan. A lot of good stuff. So here is the link to the replay. This replay will be on here, and the replays for the rest of the week, everything will be on here. Wiz, I can't make it on Friday. Sorry you can't make it on Friday. Watch the replay. It is all on this page right here. I also asked you to sign up last night for our daily sit rep. It's a 10 to 15 minute video. It's a daily video. Even if you don't become a member, a lot of people love watching these sit reps. They get about 500-600 views every time I do these each day. It's my daily market commentary, maybe even throwing out a free bone here and there, a free trade. All it is name and email, guys. It's free, and it gets pushed to you. That's why we asked for your name and email. It gets pushed to you. I don't take everybody on our list and push it to us because you might not want it. If you like my daily rants and commentary on the market, politics, life in general, and some trades, sign up for the sit rep. And finally, guys, I strongly recommend you sign up for StockTwits. I know Howard, the guy who started it, don't get paid. I don't even know. I don't even know how he makes money. But anyway, StockTwits has been around for a while. This is what Yahoo Finance should have been. But if you post anything, you post any crap, they ban you in your ISP. I got one of my marketing people like 5 years ago said, hey, we got a webinar at 6. They blocked. I had to go through like a month of purgatory to get back on here. So it is clean. It's neat. Yeah, I think you need a Twitter account though. But make sure you follow me, WizCheck6. Okay, that's my Twitter account. And finally, do me a favor and get on the Facebook. I think that's what Mark Zuckerberg calls it. And do me a favor and follow us on there too, or do me a favor and click like. I also put a bunch of stuff on here as well. Good content. All right, enough of the tactical stuff. I want to get airborne and start killing MiGs. You guys know me, and if you don't, that is me. That's a younger me, Matthew Wiz Buckley. You guys can call me Wiz going forward. Flew the Hornet for 15 years for the Navy. Graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, known as Top Gun. I was a bad guy. I was a good bad guy. I was an adversary pilot, so you know, Jester and the other dude in Top Gun, I was one of those guys, and also flew 44 combat sorties over Iraq. Everything I'm going to teach you in Top Gun Options, it ain't rocket surgery, folks. Let me close some of this stuff out. Let me close out the Facebook because it beeps every time you get a notification. But real quick, I popped up on the radar of one of the largest equity options volatility arbitrage firms in the country. Why? Because they knew that having a strategy, implementing tactics, debriefing, contingency planning, red teaming, having a leader was critically important to their success. So Peak 6 Investments is right there. That's the beautiful Chicago Board of Trade. Those big windows are the are Peak 6 Investments. Beautiful trading floor. I helped build Options House, the retail brokerage that I use. I helped build a Vol Arb hedge fund while we were there. And also while we were there, I felt like I was Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. I was like, holy crap, man, little old retail trader whiz, essentially helping run a $2.5 billion Vol Arb firm. While I was there, I was also the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN.TV. A lot of you remember that. It was essentially the CNBC for options, and I tried to throw a $250,000 ad buy at CNBC, and I wanted to put this on my resume for the rest of my life. CNBC turned our money down because they said we were a competitor, so that made me feel pretty damn good. After leaving Chicago, no offense to anybody from Chicago, you can keep the weather. Came down here to South Florida, where I'm the commanding officer of a pretty cool squadron of people right there. That's my most important job, if you ask me. All right, good to go. That took 7.5 minutes. It took a half an hour last night. Watch the replay if you want to see it. Eli, the E stands for excellence. That's a joke. E is for Edward. So my name is Edward Matthew Buckley. I think I had about 22 Uncle Eds in Philly and South Jersey. So my parents decided, got to name you Ed. Everybody else is Ed, but we're going to go by your middle name. So I go by Matthew. So there you go. You bet, man. No worries. Here's our year-to-date performance, folks. Urgent Alert and weekly options absolutely crushing it. It is up over $63,000. These are based on initial $100,000 model portfolios. So let's just round down and say that's a 63% return year to date, okay? It is better than Mr. Ed. The accelerated retirement, this is our conservative portfolio, is up 40, if you'll allow me to round up, about 50 grand or almost a 50% return on risk, guys. Pretty damn good. And then my worst performing portfolio is the PLTB, the primary live trade brief, up about 16 grand. Had some of my financials pull back on me. That happens, folks, but it's still up 16 grand and print money. You're not putting your money in a Folgers can right now, but Urgent Alert, weekly options, and AR are just absolutely crushing it. We do lose some battles, guys. I covered this last night. I have to cover it every time because apparently some people out there think there's only winning trades when in fact there's a hell of a lot of losing trades or losing battles out there as well. Not a hell of a lot for me. As I said last night, the last calculate as of 6:30, we had a 74%-ish, 75, it was 74.6 win rate, guys. Professional traders want to win on average 60% of the time, guys, because they know over time that's crushing it, okay? Not 100%. If you're a trader sitting here going, well, Wiz, I want to win on every trade, you're going to blow out, man. It's going to be very, very, very frustrating for you. But we do lose some battles. I covered the Google weekly Iron Condor I had on that just got blown out of the blue when they changed their name. Things happen. We have Donald Rumsfeld unknown unknowns every once in a while. Okay, quick review of our methodology, and then I'm actually going to do it live in the market here. SOT, Strategic Operational Tactical. If many of you weren't sitting in this webinar this morning, you'd be sitting here with your Starbucks watching some dude talk about how Tesla bottomed out. Okay, I've heard of Elon Musk. He shoots rockets, electric cars. Yeah, I believe this guy. That is a paid infomercial, folks, CNBC. So you invested in Tesla, and then a week from now, the trade's down 100%, and you're broke. Very, very tactical trading. That's not what we're going to do this morning. I'm going to do an SOT, man. I'm going to give you a strategic brief. What's going on in North Korea? What's going on in China? What's Vlad up to? What's going on in the Middle East? What's going on with oil? How about Europe? What's Mario Draghi have to say about quantitative easing and his taper? You have to pretend you're an admiral or a general here at Top Gun Options, and you're getting your daily briefing. Then I'm going to get operational. We're going to peel back that onion and go one layer deeper. And we're going to take a look at domestic, economic, and political conditions. Janet's talking tomorrow, man, in front of the House and the Senate, Wednesday and Thursday. What's she going to say about interest rates? How's the market going to react? Is it going to be a sell on the news? How are earnings looking? JP Morgan's kicking off on Friday. They're going to crush it. They're going to miss. It's been on a tear. We're going to talk about what's going on operationally. And now if you're a pretty smart guy or gal, you know what's going to happen next. Then and only then can we do what? Get tactical and trade. Doesn't it make sense? It makes no sense to throw a rifle at a Marine and say, hey, stand here and guard this bridge for the next 4 hours. Why, sir? Just shut up and do it. That's tactical, guys. How about, here's our strategic objective, Marine. We want to win the war in Iraq. Yes, sir. We want to hold this town. So an armor brigade is going to cross this bridge in 4 hours, and I need you to hold the bridge. Yes, sir. Operational. Tactical. Hold the bridge for 4 hours, man. It works. It ain't rocket surgery, and if I can do it, you can do it, and it's pretty damn cool to apply it to our portfolios. Real quick review of our acronym that I went in depth last night. Here's the areas you need to be looking at. And some of these areas we're actually going to cover here in about 5 minutes. Not fear 2017. I don't fear anything, folks. I've stared death in the eyes. I've buried 11 of the finest men that this country has ever known, will know. I don't fear a lot, so you definitely shouldn't fear as an options trader. We can potentially make money whether the market is going up, down, or sideways. The end, obviously, folks, is North Korea, man. That let me go back one. You see that launcher right there for the ICBM? Where's it built? The answer is China. So before we start sending SEAL teams in or blasting, away at North Korea, we're most likely going to lay some sanctions. I saw a great article in the Wall Street Journal last night. I posted it on my Facebook page on Top Gun Options, guys. Who was it? Dan Henninger. He had a great point. You know where to hit China? Boot every Chinese kid, the son of a rich Chinese family. They send all their kids to go to college where? Harvard, Princeton, MIT, throw them all out of the country. You want to start waking up China? Start hitting them in their pocketbook to sit on North Korea. They can, folks. They're best friends. If China wants this to stop, they will do it. They do not want a reunited North Korea, folks. They do not want capitalism. They hate Hong Kong, okay? It's bad enough that they have Hong Kong and they let them get away with stuff. They do not want a unified North Korea, folks. If that does not happen, you all know as well as I do, Donald Trump ain't going to back down from this. So we have got to keep North Korea on our radar, okay? Yeah, Karen, it's an excellent point. And like I said, subtle plug, go to I posted the article on the TGO Facebook page. You guys got to read it. Do me a favor, again, final plug. Hello. And if you see that I changed my logo here on the TGO site, yesterday, folks, 16 Marines lost their lives in a KC-130 crash. The thing came apart at altitude, which is a horrific way to die in an aircraft. Kind of like when Vlad shot down the flight over Ukraine, guys. It's awful. My heart goes out to these guys. Jesus Christ, man. And you know why? These KC-130s are older than the guys flying them, man. It's like our B-52 fleet. You got 32, 35-year-old kids flying these things in the 40, 45-year-old airplane. It's awful. Barack Obama and this whole sequestration, since we can't be leaders and come up with a budget, we're going to handcuff ourselves that if we can't come up with a budget, we're going to destroy our military. Don't get me started. I've refueled off these airplanes. My reserve squadron in Fort Worth, Texas was right next to a KC-130 Marine Reserve Squadron. I know these things are old as shit. This thing came apart at altitude, folks. Planes don't come apart at altitude. Fix the damn budget, Mr. President, or you're going to see more people like this die. Furious about this, and it's awful. Breaks my heart, man. 16 Marines gone. Well, there's going to be a lot more people gone if we don't fix North Korea. Oil stabilized today, folks. WTI's right around the middle, low 40s, mid 40s. But you know that oil, when it wants to implode, driven by the algos or not, it impacts equities. You guys remember the past couple December and Januaries when, holy crap, oil through 30, holy crap, Dow down 300 points. Oil can drive equities, guys. Do not listen to the idiots on CNBC that say low oil prices are good for the economy. They're stupid. They're lying. The little $20, $25 savings you get every other week from low oil prices or low gas prices, which, let me start this rant by saying, even if you're a political science major, you can probably figure out that low oil prices do not necessarily equate to low gas prices. Let's start with that. But when some dude or 15,000 dudes in Nebraska or Midland, Texas lose their $100,000 a year job from Schlumberger or Chesapeake in the blink of an eye, your little $20 ain't going to repair that, okay? So low oil prices do not bode well for the economy. I remember a year and a half ago when oil imploded, they had all their idiots on CNBC say what? This will add 0.25 to 0.5% to the GDP. It didn't. The economy imploded. When Exxon cancels a billion-dollar oil tanker or a rig, that's 5,000 shipyard workers who don't have a job. When Schlumberger gets rid of 15 to 30,000 oil field workers, those are jobs, people. And notice that I said your $20 savings. How many of you, when the gas prices are low, go, wow, I just saved 20 bucks on filling my gas tank. Let me run into the Quickie Mart here and buy some beef jerky and a 5-hour energy drink from Apu and put it back into the economy. You don't. What do? You say, hey, I don't even look at the damn gas price. What do most of you do? You go, hey, I saved 20 bucks. The key word is saved. So we got to keep an eye on oil, guys, because when it rears its ugly head, you have to be ready for it, and I'll brief you on it. The T, I'm not gonna pat myself on the back anymore. You guys know it. I called it. One of the few guys in the financial industry. I knew the media was lying. They're still lying. I knew the polls were wrong. I knew for a fact this guy was going to win. I knew it. I was going around the country giving motivational speeches to different companies, and people told me, first of all, who answers the phone at 10 o'clock to answer a pollster about who you're going to vote for? It ain't somebody like me, folks. So, predicted this, but we got to keep an eye on Trump. The other T in not fear is tweet. This guy, man, do not think of a dyed-in-the-wool Trump supporter. When he said that Kim was a smart cookie and he'd be honored to meet with him, he lost me. I think the dude's a narcissist. I think he's got mental issues, but I like the policies, and so does the market. Okay? Mike, KC-130s do not have parachutes, and if they do, they didn't have them for all 16 on board. The Fed. We're going to get into the Fed in a couple minutes as part of my brief, and also the financials. Goldman Sachs, we're going to take a look at a trade on today, JP Morgan and Morgan Stanley. There's my gold medalist, silver medalist, and bronze medalist financials. Folks, we had members, some of them who are in this room right now, who were up $130,000, $150,000 on one trade in Goldman Sachs. I recommended Goldman Sachs in October, November, or September, October, November before the election. I said, Trump's going to win. Financials are going to have a rip-your-face-off rally, folks. Of course, idiot me didn't get filled on any of those because I was too cheap. A couple of pennies off, I'm like, nope, not going to get filled, Mr. Market Maker. I finally got filled on my Goldman Sachs trade in about December as the thing topped out. But, folks, there's the financials. We'll talk about them here in a little bit. Europe, the E in fear. I'm not a big Europe guy. It's a 17 whatever nation clown car. We do have to pay attention to that guy on the right with Mario Draghi. He's Ben Bernanke a couple years ago, guys. He's getting ready to take away the punch bowl. What happened a couple weeks ago? Let's talk about the pullbacks that this market has had. You ready? So for those of you sitting here going, are you kidding me, dude? You're going to talk about politics? Take a look at the market, folks. There's the State of the Union speech. Sell the State of the Union. Here's the first time the idiots named Republicans, they voted to repeal Obamacare 63 times under Obama. They can't even do it once under Trump. Republicans, I've had it with you. So there's the failure to repeal Obamacare right here. Then here's the Comey memo. Political, political, political. Now this little chop and pullback right here was what? Mario Draghi across the pond going, you know what? I think the European economy is good enough to stand on its own. I'm going to maybe say last call. And what happened? We went full freak mode, didn't we? So we got to keep on Mario, an eye on Mario and what's going on here in Europe. And finally, the last, the A and R in to fear, or not fear, Asia. I made a call last week, guys. I bailed out of all of my FXI positions. China. If Trump, before he fires a bullet, is going to do anything, he's going to send some, he promised throughout the campaign to label China a currency manipulator on day one in office. He didn't. Now, you could call him a liar. I'm going to call him a negotiator, okay? He didn't because he knew Barack Obama on it as part of their transition said, dude, your closest alligator to the boat is going to be what? It's going to be North Korea, and you should probably maybe have a couple aces in your pockets. So Asia, we got to keep an eye on China, folks. They're our banker. They own us technically. They're the number. Japan and China are tied for first with the largest holder of foreign debt. Kind of sucks. And finally, Russia. we got to talk about Russia guy. This guy is, whether it's hacking our elections. I love how this guy was able to have 63 million Russian agents go out and vote for Trump. I can't wait to see the results of this investigation and how I got activated as a sleeper agent to go vote for Trump. It's stupid. You got to be bullish on Russia, folks. I hate it. I told you last night I wear 2 suits at Top Gun Options, a flight suit and an Armani suit. When I'm wearing my Armani suit, I'm Gordon Gekko. I don't give a shit. I think you got to be bullish on Putin. You got to be bullish on a guy that does whatever the hell he wants, whether it's with oil prices, the ruble, or a stock market, or militarily. Putting on my flight suit, my Marine, I'm wearing my VMFAT. I was in a Marine squadron for 3 years. I'm wearing this shirt today because the 16 fellow Marine, I wasn't a Marine, I'm going to call them fellow Marines since I served with them, died. I'll put on my flight suit and tell you it's a hold your nose trade. I can't stand Putin. When I was in flight school, he was a KGB colonel. I would have killed his ass in a dark alley. I guarantee you I would have if it was combat. But at the end of the day, folks, I'm a portfolio manager here at TGO. If the RSX, write that symbol down. If the RSX is going to make money, we're going to do it. Exactly, Ray. For lack of a better word, greed is good. Here's our 7-step trade plan, guys. There it is on the screen. I'm not going to review it. Why? Because we're going to go do it. Demo do. We talked about what we do here at Top Gun Options. I demonstrated last night the 7-step trade plan. Now it's time to go do. Okay? Now let's get airborne. Whew. Good to go. And again, apologies for the mix-up in the rooms if you are joining us. Like I said, wearing my Marine shirt today, was in a Marine squadron for 3 years at Marine Corps Air Station El Toro, where they had C-130s, and also down there in Miramar in San Diego. 16 Marines dead, folks. Freedom ain't free, man. Here we go. Strategic brief. North Korea, folks, it's going to end somehow. Okay? And for who's going to get the first gold star? And members, and let me just remind the new potential options weapons school folks that are joining us. You're in the room right now with about 200, 250 current members. So current members don't answer. You guys know the answers to this. Which country is silently watching what happens with North Korea? Somebody tell me, because I don't know. What country is silently watching what happens with North Korea? Who gets the gold star? Sue. Excellent. You got it, guys. Iran. Everybody remember that Barack Obama flew 2 unmarked airplanes full of euros, stacked full of euros, because if it was dollars, it would have been illegal. I'm going to let that sink in for all my liberals in here or my Democrats. The President of the United States flew 2 unmarked aircraft full of euros, because U.S. dollars would have been illegal, to free hostages. Anybody outraged? Yeah, I know about 50% of America was outraged because we have a brain. Iran is working on getting a nuclear weapon. The Israelis with the Stuxnet and the CIA we are trying to put this. Iran, folks, we have got to fix this. The world, these people will use these things. At least, maybe if you're clubbing in the Bahamas right now during the strategic brief here, I'm going to wake you up. You ready? I'm going to give Adolf Hitler some credit. Now, before you guys cut that and paste it and go to the Wall Street Journal, here's why. As a military mind, he lied. You know what everybody remember Neville Chamberlain getting off the airplane in the wind? I have a signed document here from Adolf Hitler. There will be peace in our time. You know what he was doing behind closed doors? He's like, hey, Heinrich, you wouldn't believe what I just promised these guys. We're not going to do anything. All right, now invade the Sudetenland. Iran, ladies and gentlemen, is not lying. They're actually saying, oh yeah, by the way, when we get a nuke, not if, we're going to use it, and we're going to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. For the love of Christ and all things holy, folks, why aren't we listening to them and taking them at their word? I saw a report here that says North Korea missile can take off but might not survive re-entry, says South Korea's intelligence agency. Who cares? Why don't we assume that as of today, they can reach San Francisco? Well, might not be so bad. I'm kidding. I love San Francisco. Why don't we take these people at their word that they're ready to kill us? What are we doing? So, folks, You have got to keep this on your radar. As the market just melts up here, la, 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 whistling past the graveyard, you will, I'm going to tell you, you will wake up one day and the futures will be down 2,000 points if something goes bump in the night in Korea. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for it? Okay. So, and yeah, well, and Craig, guess what? Saudi Arabia. Do you think Saudi Arabia is going to sit there and let the dude on across the Gulf get a nuke? The reason, Craig, you're exactly right. The Pakistanis have supported the, the Saudis have supported the Pakistani nuke program for years with cash. You know why? Because they knew someday that the U.S. was going to suck and cave, and they can buy an off-the-shelf nuke from Pakistan tomorrow. We are going to have a nuclear arms race exactly in the part of the world you don't want a nuclear arms race, guys. Years of strategic patience are over. So, folks, you know, when the president sends out stuff like this, like, well, so much for China working with us, now it's our turn. Something's going to happen, guys. But what's going to happen first is, I think, he's going to throw some sanctions on here, okay? And it's most likely, that's why I told all my members last week I was bailing out of FXI. Of course, it's up today. But if he's going to get into a sanctions, here's the chop in FXI. If you don't know what FXI, guys, it's the iShares China Large Cap ETF. So there's the, yay, everything's great. Here's the, oh, crap, we might have a nuclear war. If he starts lobbing sanctions, folks, and labels China a currency manipulator, the FXI is going to implode. Okay, so, oh yeah, guys, yeah, he did. The Pakistani scientist or whatever. Yeah, man. So we had a hell of a first half, the best, the strongest first half in years. And what's that doing? It's worrying the shit out of guys like me, man. Now remember, you're going to hear a couple wizisms this week, and you heard one last night. You have to trade the market you have, not the one you want. Look at the market we have, guys. In the absence of just sheer absolute horror or incredibly awful data, the market goes up. Look at this. Not saying that I want a down market. I'm an options trader, folks, and we can potentially make money whether the market's going up, down, or sideways. But guess what? The market I want is one that is priced in reality, man. So we're a little anxious, right? We're bidding this mark higher, but people aren't believing it. It really is a hold your nose rally. And look at what Janet Yellen, she's talking last week. This cracked me up, man. I was laughing with my members. She sounds like a hedge fund manager. Look at what she said last week. Equity prices are high, and low vol, the VIX being down here, is a risk to financial stability. The last time I looked at the Fed's mandate and charter, inflation, unemployment, or employment. It ain't to be a hedge fund manager. Look at this. So the Fed is trying to do what? The Fed's trying to guide this market a little, not lower, but to wake people up. It ain't working, man. She's standing on the bar whispering last call, and we're not listening, man. We're bashing each other in the head with champagne bottles and partying. It's not going to end well. Now, SocGen had a good report last week saying, hey, they ain't dialing rates up fast enough. It always seems, it's like the airlines, folks. My first and last day at American Airlines was 9/11. Airlines tend to hire pilots until they furlough them, and then they furlough them until they have to hire them. They're always like one cycle behind. It's the same thing with the Fed. So we got to keep an eye on the Fed, folks. But anxious investors try to hedge against a big sell-off even as the good times roll. What's this mean? This whole article is talking about volatility, folks. The VIX, the fear gauge, we're near all-time lows, man. The median, average, whatever the hell. I fell asleep in statistics. What is the mean, or somebody correct me, what is the average VIX over since it's been around? Mean? What is it? It's a 20, guys. In the history of the VIX, it's a 20. What are we at right now? We're below 11. Look at what happens to vol, folks. There's a Comey memo right there, right? Holy crap, Comey's a Boy Scout. Actually, no, he's a liar. He's a perjurer, or he's just a really scared FBI agent. Vol spikes, Vol implodes. Here was a little scariness over North Korea, blah, 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 and now Vol's going to come back down to 10. Look at this, guys. Write this down right now. I'm not going to talk. I'll probably talk Vol on Thursday and put on a volatility trade, but look at this. When Vol is cheap, you buy it. When Vol is expensive, when it pops, what do? You sell it. Okay? Vol is cheap, you buy it. When it's expensive, you sell it. And again, I'll teach you all this stuff, folks. This is good news for financials, guys. I saw on the cover of the Wall Street Journal that Trump's nominating, God, I just lost his name. They say the memory is the second thing to go in, guys, right? I don't know what the first is. I can't remember. But whoever it is, it's very bullish for financials, guys. The financials had a rip-your-face-off rally on Trump's promises of lower tax rates and lower and less financial regulation. They're going to take off again soon. And we'll talk about Goldman Sachs in a minute, because now, you see what I've done, guys? Strategic brief, North Korea, Russia, oil, blah, blah, blah. Operational, Fed, Trump, stocks, vol. Now we're going to get tactical here, guys. Or actually, I didn't talk about WTI 43 handle. Hey, the Saudis breached the OPEC agreement. How many times, for my members in the room, how many times do I laugh about, we trade around, or we just laugh around these OPEC agreements? The XLE pops on an agreement and then drops every time. Exactly, guys. That's exactly right. Nate, how do you define vol being expensive? Very, very good question. Nate, come in on Thursday. Vol is expensive in the mid to upper teens. Look at the Comey memo. Here's the Comey memo. Up to 16. That's expensive right now for vol. But I will tell you, Nate, I was in the board of trade when the VIX went up to 80. So I guess vol being expensive is relative, guys. If we have a nuclear war with, if there's something that goes bump in the night and 4 million people in Seoul are killed overnight in artillery barrage, the VIX will be at 300. There won't be a VIX. There will be no liquidity, guys. So you want to be hedged, guys. We're going to talk about that later. Nate, I watched your video regarding OPEC a few years back, and it's still true. I told you, man, they're liars. I've been to just about every country in the Persian Gulf except Iran. Actually, you don't call it the Persian Gulf, the Arabian Gulf, because the Persians call it the Persian Gulf. And they're all liars, man. It's their ethos. What else? I think that's about it. All right. On the weekly flight schedule, guys, the two biggest things that we have some economic reports on Friday, but tomorrow's the big day, guys. Why? Janet's talking. It's I think it's called her semi-annual Humphrey Hawkins testimony or something like that. And when you become a member, folks, I'm going to show you all the websites that I use to gather intelligence and where I do all this stuff. But Wednesday, Thursday, Janet is speaking. How's the market going to react? Is it going to be a sell on the news? Is she going to be hawkish? Is she going to say, hey, we had a great jobs report, but wages sucked? The headline number, guys, was phenomenal. Huge, huge jobs. Guys like me, though, dig under it and go, it actually sucked because wages, average hourly earnings went down. That ain't good, guys. If we're making more bartenders, waiters, and waitresses, God bless them because they need a job, but they're not making money. Okay? So, and then on Friday, we have some inflation numbers. Core retail sales and regular retail sales. Remember, whenever you see the word core, it means X something. In this case, it's excluding automobiles. Okay? Cap rate, industrial production, and some other good stuff. But I think Janet her impact is going to be the biggest thing on the market. Okay? Where would breaking Dr. Junior story fit in? Phil, what do you mean by that? I'm not sure. What time on Wednesday, Tamara? It is, her testimony, I think, is at 10 a.m. Okay? All right, guys, now it's time to get tactical. Any questions on my strategic and operational brief? That went a little long, longer than I wanted to, but my rant is complete. All right, so let's get, I want to leg into some iron condors. I did a weekly options. Oh, the Donald Jr. story, folks. The Democrats never miss an opportunity to overplay their hand. the Russia thing, I don't want them to shut up about it. You know why? Because people are sick of it. So CNN can find a 15-year-old kid who made a little GIF about them in 3 hours, but they can't find any evidence of collusion between Donald Trump and Russia. The only thing they found out was that Donald Trump Jr. might have been looking for opposition research. Does anybody on this webinar remember the type of opposition research the Clintons would do on people? They would destroy people, man. They'd find so much dirt. He went to a meeting where he might have heard that somebody had dirt on Hillary Clinton. Are we all freaking retarded that people have all the indignant? I'm shocked that somebody would go to lunch to maybe find out dirt about their opponent. What are we all, stupid? It's a non-story, folks. Let CNN froth at the mouth about it. Let Rachel Madcow froth. Normal Americans don't care. Normal Americans care about jobs. They care about Seattle, San Francisco, and San Diego getting leveled by a nuke, let alone Hawaii and Guam and Okinawa. They care about Russia. They care about jobs, folks. That's it. Okay? All right. We got to get into an Iron Condor here, guys. So, again, for my Options Weapons School new folks, you're joining us in, no kidding, a primary live trade brief. And all my positions got zeroed out. To my PLTB members, I have an Excel sheet with all of our positions in it. I exported it before Options House shut down the paper trading account, so I'm going to put that in the replay email for you guys. But I have to get in here and start re-putting in all my positions, which is going to take, or at least I'm going to try, or you're going to luck out. I'm going to initiate all new ones, and you're going to see how we're doing. But for my new members or potential members, yesterday I did. Every Monday we do a weekly options live trade brief. Yours is going to be on Friday, but I put on 2 bear call spreads. Why? That pop out of the open yesterday, more or less on nothing. Usually it fades, and then we have Janet on Wednesday and Thursday. So I said I'd leg into an Iron Condor. So I put on 2 trades yesterday. A bear call spread on the S&P 500. If you don't know what a bear call spread, you're in the right place, because I'm going to train you. I'm going to train you to do that, okay? And then I also put on a bear call spread on Apple. Apple has earnings coming up, folks, so let me go to Apple. Apple tends to channel into earnings. What does that mean? Folks, most companies go into look at this. It's perfect. There's earnings. Last time, rip your face off, channel, and then we know there's the tech wreck. But guys, look at this. Earnings are coming up. I've been trading Apple since it was an acorn, guys. 15, 20, however many years. I think 1 or 2 year earnings cycles. The last one was about a year and a half ago when Tim Cook came out with something like 2-3 days before earnings. I forget what it was. A new iPad, a new this or whatever. Because I think he knew earnings. Well, he did know earnings were going to suck, and he tried to inoculate it. Okay? So, that's my strategic mindset on Apple. So I'm going to leg into a weekly trade here. I just think we're going to stay range bound until Friday. I think Janet, here's what's funny, is Wednesday, tomorrow when Janet speaks, she and the Fed, I know I have a couple buddies in the Fed, not in DC, in various Fed banks. Guess what? They watch what the market does. If you don't think that I just told you she said that equities are too high and vol's too low. Who the hell are you? Thursday, she usually repairs if the market goes full freak mode, good or bad tomorrow based on her comments. Guess what she says on Thursday? The exact opposite. If you don't believe me, watch it. I've been watching this for over 2 decades, guys. That's what happens. So that's why I think we're going to stay range bound. So everybody pull out your trade checklist, the 7-step trade plan, and let's go through it, because I'm going to put on 2 weekly options trades. Great question. When do you look to leg into an Iron Condor vice just putting one on? I leg into an Iron Condor. Yesterday, Apple and the S&P 500 were up. But my strategic mindset for the week was what? That they'd stay range bound. So legging into an Iron Condor, I sold the bear call spreads first, the bullish one, or I'm sorry, the bearish one, thinking that what? It's going to stay range bound. So there's more premium in selling the bear call spread first, right? So now that well, it's not pulling back a little bit. It did a little while ago. So now it's time to put on the bull put spread. That's what's called legging into an Iron Condor. You can place it, if the stock's flat, you can put an Iron Condor on as one trade. The bear call spread and the bull put spread. But for me, yesterday, equities were having a nice little Monday pop. I said, that's stupid. I'm going to put on the bear call spread first. That's going to be the short answer. Sign up and become a member. I think actually Thursday night for my Options Weapon School members, I'm doing an hour to an hour and a half lecture, Nate, just on the Iron Condor. Okay? Let's go ahead and do that. So step one, folks, my overall strategic mindset on the market is what? I said it last night. Cautiously bullish. You can't keep this market down. There's State of the Union, there's idiot Republicans, there's the felon known as James Comey, and there's Mario Draghi. All political events, guys. People, I hate politics. I'm out of here. Don't join, man. If you don't know that politics drives this market has gone up not on fundamentals, guys. The macroeconomic data suck. Housing, durable goods. Yeah, we had a good job. We have some green shoots, to steal a Bernanke, right? We have some green data that come out, but guess what? We're mixed. What has driven this market higher is the hopes that Donald Trump gets his tax reform plan through, infrastructure spending, right? All the things that he promised. This is a hope. This is a MacGyver market, folks. There's a straw, a paperclip, and a rubber band holding this thing up. And look at what happens at the first sign of somebody yelling fire or there's smoke in the theater. We go full effing freak mode. So that's why we're going to talk about getting long vol here in a little bit. All right, so here we go. Step one, strategic mindset. Cautiously bullish. The cautiously, we need to get a VXX or an overall market hedge on, and I'm going to do that on Thursday. Okay. Step two, the target. Well, I have two of them that I've identified: Apple and SPX, because these are weekly options trades. These expire on Friday. A nice 35 and 32% gain in a day. At the open, and for the first 30 minutes, as I fumbled around to get into the right room, this trade was up 55%, and this trade was up 45% in a day. That's weekly options. These things can zip in your favor, and you feel like a hero, and then in the blink of an eye, you're a zero. So not for the faint of heart. If you haven't traded weekly options before, become a member, add the weekly options package to your package, and I'll teach you here, okay? So let's start with Apple first. Here's my current Apple position here. It's the 147, 148 bear call spread. And let's just take a look at the metrics real quick using at the money volatility. There's a 67% probability by Friday of achieving a max profit on this bull put spread. I'm sorry, bear call spread. Sip of Starbucks. Shot of Jack. Okay, and look at this. There's at least a 69% probability of breaking even on this trade. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put on a bull put spread. So check this out. Let's go to the chart. I like the range here, guys. Apple, I told you, tends to, well, actually, you ready for this? Step three. I'm going through it, and I'm not following it formally, which is that's when you forget to put your flaps down, guys. But I'm kind of fumbling through my commit criteria that I asked you to be very disciplined about. You ready? Commit criteria. Apple has earnings coming up, and Apple tends to channel into earnings. I do not expect any major announcement on a new product. The executives legally have to go into what? It's called a quiet period. So I don't think Tim Cook or the CFO is going to be out there on a stage doing anything that's going to swing this stock around. Boom. Don't let me say boom yet. Therefore, I believe that Apple will remain in a trading range by Friday, like it has for the past couple weeks. For those of you who weren't here a couple weeks ago, there's a $4,200 Iron Condor on Apple. The 142, 143, and the 149, 150. That made $4 grand in a week and a half, guys. Let me get a hell yeah. And that was on limited risk. So this wasn't like, Wiz, did you risk 100 grand here? That was about $4,500 in risk because it was an Iron Condor. Remember, with an Iron Condor, you can't lose on both spreads. Even, Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football, man, the football can't split in two in mid-flight and hit both uprights or go out. It's physical. It might be possible for you as the most unluckiest options trader in the world. It can't happen. So there's an example right there of me paying for nearly 3-year membership in Top Gun Options with one Apple trade. Phenomenal. So here we go. let's take a look at the range. So we have the 147, 148, and I like the bottom of this around the 144, 143-ish. So let's make sure, and again, guys, I use Options House. I helped build it. It was Trade Monster. It was Options House. Now it's E-Trade. Long story. Let's take a look at the 144, 143 bull put spread. And guys, I can only, since they did away with the paper trading account, I can only do one contract trades because I am not giving investment advice. I'm not an RIA. I'm not a broker dealer. You have to talk to those people to see if options are suitable for you, all that good stuff that I disclosed at the beginning, guys. So the one contract thing is just me. That's how we're going to do it until they get the paper trading back here. But let's take a look at the bull put spread here. What is a bull put spread? I'm going to sell a single contract of Friday's expiration. Why Friday? I have a weekly options trade on here. Of the 144 put. Why the 144? I showed you the trading range that it's been zipping around in. When I sell this put, that is me saying, hey, Apple, I don't think you're going to be below 144 by Friday. Okay, Wiz, I get it. Well, what if you're an idiot? Distinct possibility, and it's not. FDA comes out tomorrow and says iPhones cause cancer and the stock goes to zero. That's going to suck. But what I'm going to do is buy the 143 puts so our losses are limited below 143. It can go to zero. That'll suck. But our losses are limited by buying this put. Okay? This is called a bull, because I'm bullish, put, because I'm using puts, and a spread. This is why you love being an options trader, folks. This trade makes money three ways. Apple can go up, great. Apple can stay where it is. Write this down. Unched on the day equals time decay. What does that mean? If Apple's unchanged on the day, it just sits here, we get a Greek called what? Time decay. Unched on the day equals time decay. So Apple goes up, we make money. Apple stays where it is, we make money. Apple can even go down, ladies and gentlemen, and we can make money on this trade. Okay? Up, down, or sideways. This is also called a credit spread, guys. I know I hate when I first got into options, it would be called 5 different things. The tactic that the naming convention I use is I'm bullish, and it is using puts and a spread. Apple, what's today's date? 7/11. I'm taking a screenshot, guys, because I email out the trade to my members, and I also send them a text alert, which I'm going to show you in a couple seconds. Now, let me click Analyze, and the first place that you are going to be trained to look, let's go up to 19 cents, is the sad face, max potential loss, guys. I have an SOP that says I do not want to risk more than 5% of the model portfolio on any one trade. Okay, and again, it was $100,000, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to change my SOP to this, 19 and 81. Let's go over here real quick. Let's do the math. My other SOP, 1981. I do not want to go about under 20% return on risk. If it is less than a 20% return on risk, I don't like to do it, guys. This bull put spread has let's just say a 24% return on risk. That's pretty damn good, guys. If you can get a 23.5% return on risk for 52 weeks in a row, you'd be phenomenal. That's a pretty good one, okay? So if I'm okay with this max potential loss and return on risk, now I can look at Mr. Happy Face and go, you know what? Max potential profit using at the money vol is 65%. And then obviously the dude who's kind of like serious, the break even is all the way down here out of the bottom of Apple's recent trading range down there at 143.81. So let me get a screenshot of this because this also goes in the replay email. What goes in the replay email? The screenshots of the trades, and guess what? The damn replay. But if you can't attend one of my live trading sessions, Tuesday mornings I work. 80% of TGO members work for a living, guys. Some of them, I'll show you a testimonial from one of my members. He's like, hey man, this is the first time in 3 years I've attended live. I usually watch the replays during lunch or when kids go to bed, so it's pretty cool to be here. So what do? We do this. I'm going to select primary live, well, actually, it's the primary live trade brief and weekly options members that are in here. And I'm going to put WO means weekly options. New Apple bull put spread. So you could be sitting at work, folks, in death by meeting. You guys see this right here, this phone? That's my son Jack's artwork on the back. He draws art, and you can get it made into a phone case. But I can run TGO from here, folks. I have my Options House platform on here. I have my alert system on here. I can be sitting at the beach. I'll get a text alert, can place a trade, and do everything from here, guys. So you could be sitting in your cubicle in death by meeting. Crap, I'm missing a primary live trade brief. Doesn't matter. You're going to get the text right now. Watch the replay later, okay? Weekly options, do bull put spread. So, one contract. Again, that's me for compliance reasons. I have none of my business what you guys do, guys. You got to talk to your financial advisor, RA, all that stuff. June 14 is Friday, and that's the expiry. I'm going to buy as a hedge the 143 put, and I'm going to sell the 144, come on, Wiz, put at a 19-cent credit, right? It's a credit spread. Plus or minus, I give my traders a range for the day, guys. I'm only going to go about 2 cents wide, meaning I'll go down to a credit of 17 or up to a credit of 21. Anything outside of the window, I'm not going to try and get filled on. I'd look to it, and here's part of the trade plan, guys. Remember, before you squeeze the trigger on any real capital and any real trade, you have got to figure out when you're maybe going to adjust it and when you're going to bail out for max or minimum loss. You ready? The adjust point, probably around 35 cents, and I'd look to eject and get out of the trade maybe at around 38 cents. How'd I come up with that? Become a member and I'll tell you more in depth, but I double the credit that I took in. Remember, folks, we want to keep this entire credit. I want that whole 19 cents, damn it. If it starts going up to 23 cents, 28, 30, Apple is going down. So I'd look to maybe adjust it. If it hits 35, it's probably about 33 cents. I don't have time to get into it right now, guys. I will get into an hour of the adjust and eject in your options weapon school training. Okay, Nate? Yeah, I do. I send out text for opening a trade, closing a trade, or adjusting a trade. Legging into iron condor. Whoops, condor with bear call from with bear, you guys know. I'm running out of space there. Legging into an iron condor. I'm going to copy this. All right, so everybody, all my members, and if you guys on the registration page, Doug's filled at 19 cents. On the registration page, where is it? If you guys gave me your cell phone number, this is the only reason you see where it said right here, optional for trade alerts. If you gave us your cell phone number, I'm going to send you a text. They ain't cheap, but check this out. Where is it? Options Weapon School registrations. So if you gave us a number when you opted in, you're going to see the power of this fully operational Death Star. So there you go. There's your text alert as a demonstrator, and there's my text right there, guys. Can you see it? So you're going to get the trades at the same time as everybody else. So there you go. I'm sending it out to all my registrars or people that gave us your cell phone number. Steve, can't add it, man. You needed to give it to us when you registered. So my apologies. If you didn't give us your cell phone number when you registered, you're not going to get that text right now. Don't know what to tell you. You should have believed us. So weekly options, new Apple, bull put spread. And some of my Canadian members, there's like 15, 17 of you guys. There's a couple Canadian telecom companies who this text comes from a 5-digit number, and they think it's spam. But yeah, literally, Gordon in Australia. Folks, we have 37 member countries at TGO, and they all get them at the same time. Within 2 seconds, the text. Okay. Rob, this is a good standalone trade. If you did not get into the Iron Condor, all right, so there we go. I'm filled on it. So let me grab a screenshot of the overall Iron Condor. Let me group this together as an Iron Condor. Sweet. So I'm filled on the Iron Condor, guys. And look at this. The SPX bear call spread from yesterday, guys, is up 50% in a day. Look at these percentage gains, guys. Let me grab a screenshot of the Iron Condor just to send it out to my members as well. So there it is, guys. That's what an Iron Condor looks like. I call it a football trade. There's the uprights. Okay, there's the uprights. As long as that blue line, Apple, finishes by Friday between there, I make a max profit. Boom. So let me grab this, and I'll put this in the replay email as well. And now we're gonna leg into a so save as Apple IC for Iron Condor and 711. Awesome, good times, man. Everybody having a good time? Good, 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 good. Now, let's take a look at SPX. Same strategic mindset, same everything in the trade plan, guys. Let me bring the chart down here a little bit. Janet, here's the risk, because as an options trader, guys, I'm always looking at, and a fighter pilot, I'm always looking at what's going to kill me. What can kill me in this trade? And there we go. I registered, obviously. I registered because I want to get everything that you guys get as you register, so I just got my text as an options weapon school attendee. Did everybody get it? We good? Nate got 20 cents. Good for you, my brother. All right, so guys, again, I don't think that the SPX is going to implode on what Janet says, and I don't think it's going to have a rip-your-face-off rally. I think we're going to hang out in a holding pattern until we get an earnings season. There you go. There's step 3. There's your commit criteria. So here's the current SPX bear call spread. And before anybody asks, why don't you trade SPY? Let me disclose something real quick. I'm not your tax accountant. I'm not a tax attorney. I don't play one on TV. There is potentially different tax treatment between trading an ETF and the actual index. And I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm just going to leave it at that. Look it up. So I trade, well, okay, well, if Wiz is trading index, maybe there's potentially better tax treatment there. I'll leave it alone. You guys can look it up. All right, guys, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to look to leg into a Iron Condor by putting on a bull put spread, because I do think we're going to stay range bound on the S&P 500 by Friday, okay? Nice 47, 50% gain out of this trade in a day. Remember, guys, it's about the percentage gains when you're trading options. It ain't necessarily about the dollar gain. It's about the percentage gain. All of my portfolios last year, all 4 of them had triple-digit returns. The accelerated retirement snuck across the line with like 101, 102% gain there. All right, so let's get into a bull put spread here on the S&P 500. Probably, what was my range? The 10? It was right, yeah, the 10, right there. There's a, let's take a look at the 2410. Let's at least start there. 2410, 2405. Bull put spread. Add edit leg so I can get in here. Sell by. The 1005. I could actually maybe even go down a little bit more conservative on this one. Well, I like this one, guys. I'm going to sell Friday's 2410 put. That's the bottom of the range that we've seen recently. Okay. Nate, this might be early, but when put on the VXX, I'm not, Nate, I can't talk VXX, man. Let's stay focused. VXX will probably be Thursday. I'm gonna sell these puts because that's the bottom range I think the S&P is going to be in. And as a hedge, Wiz, you're an idiot. Janet came out yesterday or tomorrow and says that she's raising interest rates a full point next time they meet and the market imploded. Well, then it's going to suck, but our losses are capped out below what? 2405. Okay, 2405. This is a good look, and this is a good-looking standalone trade. So whoever asks, like, hey, Wiz, is that Apple trade good as a solo trade? The answer is yes. So this one, SPX, what's today's date? 7/11. Screenshot for the email that I send out afterwards. Create order, mid-market, of course. As soon as I click analyze, the first place that my eyes go is where? Max potential loss. And then we're going to take a look at our risk to reward. So I'm risking 90 to potentially make 410. Let's do some mental math, or not. 90, 410. And let's see if our risk to reward is in the ballpark. It is above 20. That's a good trade for me, okay? The potential return on risk is 22%. That is in my ballpark, okay? So look at this, guys. There's a 70, this is a high probability trade. There's a 77% probability that we make max profit on this one, man. It's a hell of a, that's a pretty high probability. However, don't let me, my smiling and joking and good nature obscure the fact that what? Somebody take the other side of this trade and say what I should be saying. Wiz, that means there's a 17% probability you can get your ass kicked. That's how you should be thinking of it as an options trader. And then the Mr. Serious, I'm all right. The break even, guys, is a 78% probability that this trade breaks even. So I like this one as a standalone trade, and I'm going to fire this one down range. Wait a minute. Could I have gotten more for that? That's flopping around. We selling off a little bit here? Yeah, we are. Look at that. Now we can get $1 maybe. Let me analyze that one, and that's an even better. The metrics went down a little bit, but let's try and get $1 plus or minus 10 cents. And then I got one more trade for you. Save as. No, guys, whoever asked that, I'm honored that you're asking how much to join, and if you can join today, let me show you what we can do here first before you. I'm flattered, but I'll open the slots tomorrow, guys. So let me go over here again and get this out to my members who aren't here right now. Paste. Weekly options, new SPX bull put spread. Did anything just come out? Hold on one second. Tuesday. The Jolts report. No, the Jolts. No, just maybe some mid-morning guys are taking an early lunch. Nothing massive. All right. One contract. Guys, I'm not ignoring your questions. Here's the other reason why we only take 25 people, or we don't do these all the time and have like open enrollment. You can sign up at any time. I can't have a zoo in here. It's driving me crazy that there's so many great questions, and I'm not going to answer all of them. We just don't. So that's why we keep our trading squadron tight, is because, and if I can get to your questions, all of them at the end, I will. And if you're a member, get in the ready room and ask me, because we can always meet in there. So it's $1 credit plus or minus 10 cents, meaning I'll go down to 90 cents or I'll go up to $1.10. Anything outside of that is bad. I will look to adjust this trade if it goes up in value to $1.75, and I'd look to bail out of this thing at $2, man. Legging into iron condor. Both right there. Let me send this to my problem children up in Canada. Weekly options, new. SPX. Bear, bull put spread. I didn't put bear call spread, did I? I really hope not. VIX has gone positive. Yep, probably because the market's going down. Mike took the 2400, 2405 at 80 cents. Mike, that's a good one too, man. You can go a little bit more conservative. Absolutely, guys. I like it. Like hearing all my members rogering up with what they're looking at doing. So there you go. I'm filled on the iron condor on this one too. And let me group them together. So there you go, guys. Just demonstrated how to leg into an iron condor and why I did it. So let's take a look at this. Let's analyze this. Hey, analyze this. So looks like the risk might be to the downside. We really picked up here to the downside. That's interesting. So if you're not filled on this one, guys, maybe look at Mike, maybe look at the 20, maybe roll these down $5. I'm hanging out. I'm filled. I don't mind it. But maybe take a look at going down $5 if you're not filled right now. Okay? I predicted this yesterday, guys. I said this little pop in the market, we'll give it back tomorrow. And look at what we're doing. SPX, IC 711, Iron Condor 711. Okay, so with the market pulling back, picking up a little airspeed here, there's nothing really. It releases June email exchange. There's nothing. What kind of like yesterday when we had a little pop on nothing, we're having a little drop on nothing. Let me check my text. It's my hedge fund buddies usually, if there is anything. They know when I'm in my live trade briefs and know that when they're looking at their Bloomberg terminals to give me. All right, one second. Nope, nothing's really going on here, guys. Okay, good. Awesome. All right. Again, guys, I'm fine with this trade, but if you want to maybe back it down by about $5. Yeah, exactly. Trump targets or Trump is texting again. No, Karen, I don't think it's the market reacting to Trump emails. It's just we're just kind of selling off a little bit here. So don't. That's why this is called a lucky strike moment. Take a drag of your cigarette. Especially the day before Janet speaks. If she comes out tomorrow and says something nice, market goes up. Okay, so let's move on, guys. We got to move on because I want to take a look at Goldman Sachs. I told you Goldman Sachs is my gold medal winner, guys. Earnings coming up. You have to be in the financials, man. Financials, the South will rise again. Look at this. Let's go back. No, I got to go back a year. So again, a little bit of a victory lap. Edward Matthew Buckley recommended Goldman Sachs here, here, and here, and I didn't get it filled on it until about here. Some of my members were up $150,000, $160,000 in one Goldman Sachs trade. One trade, ladies and gentlemen. I have a JP Morgan trade in the Urgent Alert portfolio that's up $38,000. Look at JP Morgan, guys. What did I tell my members? I told my members when it was in the low 80s. What did I tell you guys? That's exactly right. I said load the boat. I'm not going to say I said it right there, guys, because only jerks at cocktail parties do that. Right around here, guys, in the low 80s, I said what? Get on JP Morgan now. And got a lot of nice emails and support thanking me for the early Christmas present. I'm going to go with Goldman Sachs, folks, because it's been a little under pressure. We have a Goldman Sachs put underneath the market, okay? And now we're having a triple-digit sell-off. The VIX is up 10% on what? Donald Trump Jr. releases his June email exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, if the market is going down on this, sell into this. Look at the Comey implosion, guys. Oh, my God, Trump will be impeached. The next day, everybody realized that was bullshit. That Comey either lied and committed perjury by saying a month before, nobody's pressured me to do anything. So he committed perjury, or he committed a felony by being the nation's chief law enforcement officer and not doing what? Not arresting the damn president if he thought that he interfered with justice. So if this is a political pullback, guys, don't worry about it. No, El Grillo, I do not mean buy into it. You sell into it, meaning what? You sell a bull put spread. That's the terminology, guys. Buy into it is a stock term, meaning, hey, the market's selling off, let's buy into it. Sell into it means what? I want to sell a bull put spread thinking it's going up. It's a matter of semantics. I remember having a couple tin sandwiches with this discussion. It's your point of view. Let me leave it at that. It's a point of view. Sell into it means what? I just sold two bull put spreads as these stocks and the index went down. That's what I mean. But if I'm confusing you, I'll say buy into it. How about that? All right, but let's get going with Goldman Sachs, guys. Take a look at Goldman. Look at the one-year run, man. Holy shnikes. And then we've given it back and we're hovering. We're waiting for the next leg up, guys. We have a Goldman Sachs put underneath this trade. What do I mean by that? Gary Kahn, the head of the President's Economic Council or whatever. Steve Mnuchin. I told you guys last night, I had dinner with these guys. I know them. No, I don't know them. I had dinner with them. How about that? The Treasury Secretary. We have 5 people, 2 cabinet members, 3 other heavies in the administration from Goldman Sachs. You think Goldman Sachs is going out of business anytime soon? I think Lloyd Blankfein is a hell of a CEO. I think they're going to have a strong quarter because trading is starting to come back. Therefore, check out this tactic, guys. And again, I can give you an hour, hour and a half lecture. I will give you an hour, hour and a half lecture on this tactic. But I'm going to blow through it super fast because I don't want to. We have 1 minute to go technically, but I'm gonna revise and extend my remarks like a senator because I want to get this trade on for you. You got it. You got it, Ray. Plus Goldman will be protected by the federal government. Dennis and all you other guys. Yeah, it's a matter of semantics. I sold into it, meaning when the market popped yesterday. I'm not even going to say popped. When the market rose yesterday, what did I say? I'd sell into that pop, meaning I don't believe it. When it drops, you could say, I'm going to buy into it. So you're right. If it's confusing, it's because it's trader terminology. On the floor, you'd say, holy shit, the market's going down, sell into it, meaning I'm going to sell a bull put spread, which means you're actually bullish. Matter of semantics. So here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm going to put on a trade that's bipolar. and so am I. What do I mean by that? With this tactic, it's called a long call diagonal. With this tactic, you can be, I am as bullish on Goldman Sachs as you can be. Folks, if there's a nuclear war, Goldman Sachs no doubt financed it, and they're going to finance the rebuilding of it. Goldman Sachs was featured, wasn't it a cover story in Rolling Stone years ago? They called it like the giant vampire squid sucking on the face of America. It's the Death Star. So I am long-term bullish on Goldman Sachs, which means I'm going to hop in my time machine and fly all the way out to January of 2019. Isn't that cool? But guess what? Here's my strategic mindset. I'm long-term bullish on Goldman Sachs. Okay. I'm short-term neutral. Wait a minute, Wiz. You can put on a tactic that's long-term something and short-term something. You're damn right I can. Welcome to Options Weapons School. So here we go. So I'm going to go all the way out to Jan19, guys, and I collapsed the puts. The puts were on the right side of the screen because I wanted to uncover a Greek called Delta. Now, trust me, guys. We have a volatility arbitrage trader here named Doug Robertson. You don't get access to his stuff with Options Weapons School. You do with Full Throttle, different program. But he'll give you an 8-hour lecture on Delta. I'm not. Delta, simply put, is the rate of change in the prices of the options right here based on the rate of change in Goldman Sachs. An option with a delta of 0.5 it's out of the money, folks. You see how these are all light gray and this is a white background? It means it's out of the money. It's cheaper because it's a little bit of a lottery ticket. You know, that Goldman Sachs has to go up by, a couple bucks. It's half as much. A 0.5 delta means if Goldman Sachs goes up $1, these go up 50 cents. Now, I'm not even going to, I'd have to click all up here and my screen would get huge. I'm not going to do it. Pretend with me that right here where it says delta, this says 1.0. It doesn't. It says 0.87. If this was a 1 delta option, if Goldman Sachs went up $1 today, these prices would go up $1 today. But look at the damn price of these, man. Holy crap, Wiz. These were like 20-some bucks. These are at 90? Well, think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Look at how deep in the money these calls are. They have intrinsic and extrinsic value. They got some meat on the bones. So you know what Wiz does? I split the difference, guys, and I'm going to select the call that is closest to a 0.8 delta. And it looks like the Jan19 170s, okay? So I'm going to click on that. Oops. The 170s right here, 0.8. Hello. I'm going to click Create Spread, and then I'm going to click on Diagonal. That's the name of this tactic. It's a long call diagonal. So check this out. I'm going to buy one of the Jan19 170s. Now, if you believed me, Wiz, you had me at your strategic mindset and commit criteria for Goldman Sachs. It ain't going out of business anytime soon. There's a revolving door between Goldman Sachs and Washington. I love it. You could do this. You could just buy these deep in the money 80 delta calls, drop them in your filing cabinet if people still have those, and look at them in a couple years, and you probably make some nice money on it. And I'm going to blow away your performance based on doing this. I live down here in South Florida, folks. Buying one of these deep in the money 170 calls, folks, that ain't cheap, okay? It's $63.70. So it's like going to the Ferrari dealership down here in Fort Lauderdale, man, and buying a 250 grand Ferrari. You know what I'm going to do? And there's a lot of this going on down here. I'm gonna find a sugar mama or sugar daddy, if you're so inclined, and I am going to sell front month. What the hell's the front month? You're in it, folks. July, August, September. I'm going to sell front month upside calls to bring in a little scratch. Watch this. $63.70. Remember it. I'm going to buy one of the Jan19 170 calls. Right? I'm going to sell, what was the range? What we top out here recently? The upper 230. I'm going to sell next Friday, next Friday's, what's that? The regular July expiration. I'm going to go with the 230 calls. It's based on charting and a bunch of other stuff. I got to get moving, guys, for time here. look at what I just did, guys. I'm already making us money technically, or reducing our cost basis. What did I do? This trade went from 63.70 down to 61.32 just by bringing in some front month premium on this thing. Isn't that cool? So if by next Friday Goldman Sachs is trading below, Goldman Sachs is stuck in a trading range too, guys, is trading below 230, I can potentially make 600 bucks. Goldman Sachs goes down a little bit, stays the same or goes up a little bit. I can lose a little money, stay the same or go up, but I'm also bringing in $600 potentially. Okay? Now let me do something real quick. You're never going to get filled mid-market. This is a debit spread, folks. Like the term debit card, you're coming out of pocket. These other two trades were what? They were credit spreads. So what I do is I call it the walk it on up method, folks. Look at this. Somewhere between the mid and the ask, a market maker is going to hit your price. So I'm going to go between the mid and the ask. Where? I don't know. Right. I like round numbers. There. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to place this trade and I'm going to walk away. I might go get lunch, do whatever, come back, and if I'm not filled, maybe I go up 5 cents. Wait 20 minutes, go do something else, play with my kids in the pool, still not filled. I walk it on up from there, guys. Does that make sense? Because if you, I don't even want to push this button because I want to punch myself in the face. You ready? If you click the ask, there's going to be an idiot light that flashes on every market maker's computer screen saying, holy crap, somebody's coming in at the ask. They're not even going to have time to say that because the algos, there will be a piranha of market makers wanting to fill you on that trade, and this trade will start. You'll be in the hole immediately on this trade. I can't do that. Don't ever do that. I use the Warren Buffett analogy, folks. Warren Buffett, can't stand him. He's a limousine liberal, but he's got a great quote. What'd he say? If you pay 1 penny more in taxes, you're an idiot. If you pay 1 penny less, you're a felon. So when it comes to trading, guys, you should try and get filled right at whatever it is. Okay? So, and look, guys, if the market did go down to 120 points and down 7 on that little political email thing, yeah, well, look at CNBC, look at Comedy Central. Art Cashin's a good dude. I met him once on the floor after hours, and we melted some ice cubes. Stocks turn lower after Trump Jr. releases emails. That's it, guys. Another one of these political pullbacks. So I'm going to go between the mid and the ask on this trade, but guess what? This isn't a good trade for me. Why? You ready? Let me click Analyze. Holy crap, Wiz. You're going to risk $6,000 on this trade? Well, the way it is right now, I am. What is the risk, ladies and gentlemen? What is the risk of this underlying, what's the risk in this trade? Somebody tell me. That's exactly right. That Goldman Sachs can go to 0. You got it, Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, I know the people at Options House, or actually most of them are gone now, but my point being is I can't pick up the phone and call Options House and go, hey guys, it's Wiz, it's me. Don't margin me, don't haircut me like Goldman. You know Goldman Sachs ain't going to 0, guys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much they like Wiz. They're going to haircut me as if Goldman Sachs is going to 0. This is for the new folks. Members do not answer. I know who you are. For the new folks who are just joining me in Options Weapons School, who have never seen this cool tactic before, what could I do? What could I add to my trade that even if Goldman Sachs does go to 0, we don't care? What could I add to this trade right now to reduce Goldman Sachs going to 0? You got, Nate, are you a member? If you are, you owe me 50 push-ups. That's exactly right. Nero, you got it. Buy insurance. I like the way you put that. And I just gave you the answer in that sentence right there. The word is put. Nate, you're new? Well done, my friend. So I am going to add what Edward Matthew Buckley calls a disaster put. Now, again, I'm giving you way too much, man. I'm unzipping my fly a little bit too much here at Top Gun Options, which I tend to do, and my marketing people are Skyping me right now to get off the air. But let me tell you, what would be a disaster for me? I define a disaster if something goes down 20%. If Goldman Sachs goes down 20%, it's in a bear market. That would be a disaster. So write this down, guys, or watch the replay. I tend to place my disaster put 20% below the stock price. What's that, 44? Let's just say 45. 225 minus 45 equals. I'm going to add a disaster put at the 180 strike. If you didn't hear that, didn't understand it, watch the replay or become a member. Now immediately look at the picture here, guys. It went from me flying straight into the side of a mountain to what? A ski jump. So I just told the risk management department at Options House, hey, check this out. Now so I was risking $6,000 in this trade, ladies and gentlemen. Now what am I risking? Watch the magic that Wiz just did. This is some Wiz magic here. You ready? Let me click Analyze and now take a look at the max risk. $2,000? If I can't hear your golf clap, I'm at least going to golf clap for me. Isn't this freaking cool, ladies and gentlemen? I just reduced the max risk in this trade from $6,000 to $2,000. Freeing up a hell of a lot of margin and haircut, ladies and gentlemen. This is pretty damn cool. Okay? Ignore the $10,000, guys. This is based on me, that disaster put working out for me. That you have to hover over the thing right here. I could potentially by next Friday make $373. If what? Goldman Sachs is trading below 230. Okay? Guys, I have zero time today to get into what if it's above 230. I'll tell you real quick. I can roll the calls up. I can roll them out. I can roll them up and out, or I can close them. That's what I'm going to do. In a normal live trade brief, guys, I would go into great detail about what I'm going to do with these calls, but I want to text this trade out and get it to my members. So again, Options Weapons School, guys, for all my potential new members, you should feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. When you become a member, you ain't. I'm trying to squeeze a lot of stuff into a short period of time, but you're joining our squadron during a regular primary live trade brief, but I would do a lot more training on this trade and how to manage it, but I'm already late because I was late, and that's embarrassing. I'll do 50 push-ups. I promise you I'll do 50 push-ups. I do them anyway. All right, let me grab another screenshot of this. Yes, it is a cool trade, Rebecca, and I love these. Like I said, we have a JP Morgan one on that's 10 months. It's up $35,000. These ain't sexy, guys. This isn't weekly options. This isn't, hey, I can make $5,000 in a week. This is, we closed a JP Morgan long call diagonal in December for about $35,000 in a year and a half. Give me a hell yeah if you would like to make $35,000 in a year and a half on one trade. Okay, I got to free up some buying power here, guys. But this is, or add to my portfolio here. Damn it. All right, I'm gonna offline again with this. Them ditching the paper trading. I gotta put some money in here. So come next week, you will sell another call. You got it, Nate. Think of Goldman Sachs as a barrel rolling downhill, folks. And every time, Nate, I can pick every week. I could go out a month from now and maybe sell the Goldman 260s. I wouldn't because of earnings, but you get my point. That's exactly right, Nate. But and I'm getting into, Nate, you're pulling some content out of me that I didn't want to do. Here's where I stop. If something goes on a tear, look at JP Morgan here. In my urgent alert portfolio for the past month, Nate, we sat on our hands and watched as that 80 delta call went deeper in the money with JP Morgan. It became a 0.9, a 0.95, and eventually that JP Morgan became a 1 delta call and is printing money. So if something goes on a tear, Nate, you get out of the way. You don't have to apologize, man. It's a great question. I'd ask the same as you, man. So I'm just telling you that you're pulling more content out of me. But let me get this to my members. Right there. So this is PLTB. PLTB new Goldman Sachs long call diagonal. with protective put. You could call it a disaster put. You can just don't call me late for dinner. All right, paste. One contract. It's the July 17 expiry. Well, actually, no, hold on a second. I'm going to sell the July 17. That's next Friday's 2:30 call. And I'm going to buy the Jan 19 170 call and buy the Jan 19 180 put. That's my disaster put, guys. At a 72.60 debit. And what do I tell my members? Walking it up from there. And I kind of told you what that means. So if you got that text and you didn't listen to me, be like, what the hell is he talking about, walking it up from there? Now you know what it means until I get filled. But like I said, I got to free up some haircut here offline. PLTB, new, Goldman Sachs, long call diag. There it is right there. So here's my Canadian brothers and sisters. I hope your telecom companies one day realize the world is running out of phone numbers and send. Okay. I'm not going to blast that again to all. Well, you know what? I will. I'll be a nice guy. Here it is to all the people that gave us their cell phone numbers. I'm not going to do it all week, guys. This is just a demo to show you that you can get the power of our text alerts. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to offline, guys. Any other? I'll tell you what, I'll hang out for a little bit more, guys, to answer questions because I know we have a lot of good ones. And yes, I'll put the schedule up of the rest of the week, whoever just asked that. So we just knocked out our PLTB, guys, the primary live trade brief. And then tomorrow night, we're going to do the vertical spread training. Let me take your questions here. Ran, as usual, great session, Wiz. Later, brother. See you, Ran. I appreciate it. JW, what about a bull put spread for the bear call spread already on Goldman Sachs? JW, I love that. I do think, as you know, that Goldman Sachs, just like Apple, is going to remain range bound, but Goldman Sachs has earnings coming up next Friday, I think, or the 18th. So keep an eye on the earnings, JW. Doug, yes, we have options weapon school training tonight. Mike, we do, but it's not in this portfolio right now. Is there an issue with it? Because like I said, I have to get in here and try and re-enter all my positions since they closed that paper trading account. So I'm trying to get all this stuff. Shahari, great analysis of S&P. Thank you, sir. SPX Iron Condor looking good. Thanks, Nate. 18th, yeah, David, that's the earnings. Forward month EWZ, Brazil. Let's take a look at the EWZ. Love Brazil, guys. This is so for my new potential members, I use some terminology when you sign up and you get in here and you see my positions, I use a couple different terminologies. Yes, meaning this is a position I would add to my model portfolio. No, meaning I wouldn't. Or I say Captain Kirk trade. And here's what I mean by this. If I say, hey, welcome aboard new members next week after you sign up, yeah, it is. The S&P is recovering nicely. I told you guys. I'll get back to EWZ in a second. Do I have the, is it in this slide deck? No. Look at this real quick, guys. File. Let me get a recent one of these. Look at this. At the front of my, here it is right here, guys. Look at this. Sometimes it's a lucky strike moment. Sometimes that pullback on the S&P, I don't sit here all day and watch these guys, and I manage 4 portfolios. I can do it from my phone, but that little pullback in the S&P, I told you as it was happening, I'm like, I would sell it, I would buy into it. So sometimes you got to pull out a lucky strike moment. So yeah, the S&P Iron Condor, if your strategic mindset and your commit criteria, folks, are still sound, don't get out of the trade. Okay? Greg, it is after the earnings. That's a great point, Greg. But guess what? We're not going to hold that short call through earnings. That's stupid. But Greg, great mutual support. So ladies and gentlemen, I did not say that, but if you look on the order ticket, check this out. Preview. It says what? Or no, it was back here. Warning. Where the hell is it? Add edit legs. Create order. preview. It should say, maybe it's not putting it out here because of the buying power. So yeah, guys, you got to take those 2:30 calls off before earnings on, what is it, the 18th, which is what? Tuesday. So we would get a week, literally, of theta. I would close them on Monday, guys. I'd enjoy getting some theta, maybe even seeing Goldman Sachs pull back a little bit, but yeah, you have to close them out before that. And again, guys, sorry I'm sporadic with the questions. This is why we only take a certain amount of people. The rare times throughout the year we do these, okay, because I can't answer 90,000 questions. We keep our trading room nice and tight. But Brazil, right here, guys, here's another political example for the people who hate trading politics. I don't know how you trade because, you know, a Fibonacci, this, or a reverse bear, you know, pennant flag didn't have this. Holy crap, JBS executives caught on tape potentially bribing the president of Brazil. They did. He was on tape. There goes the EWZ and the Bovespa. Here is Wiz saying, get back in the EWZ. That's stupid. So I would be very, very long-term bullish on Brazil. The Jan19 trade I just did on Goldman Sachs is the exact same procedure and tactic that I would do on Brazil. Okay, so that's a no-brainer. I would do that on Brazil as well. Okay, guys, I went 21 minutes long because I was about 21 minutes late, and my apologies. I was in the wrong room. You guys were in the right room. John, what time for free drinks in Tahoe? The whole weekend, my friend. Nate, in Brazil, caught on tape is like taking a selfie. Exactly. So for my current members, yeah, we're going to be doing our next session all the way up in Lake Tahoe. Awesome. All right, good stuff. Good. So again, guys, I'll see many of you in Lake Tahoe in the first week of November. My apologies. Yep, you bet, Juan. Thank you for all the kind words right now, guys. All right, so we got we legged into 2 iron condors on SPX and Apple. Those are weekly trades. I have to add some more money to this account since they did away with my damn paper trading to get filled on this Goldman Sachs trade. I love this Goldman Sachs trade. I'm going to get in it. It is a very, very good trade. It is David, absolutely. When is ExxonMobil earnings coming out? That's another one I have to get. I got to get back into, David. Look at that range, guys. We have been trading iron condors in ExxonMobil for 3 or 4 months. Look at that range, man. You bet. I would put on a bull put spread, but we got to take a look at when earnings are. 728. Absolutely, I would look at a bull put spread or an iron condor, David. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, I got to run. I'm going to get this replay posted on the replay page, which is right here. For those of you who didn't attend last night, you have got to watch the replay, man. It was good. Just ask me. So there's the replay page. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. And also, so you can go over to StockTwits and get on there as well. And you should sign up for our sit rep after I say thank you, good night, try the veal right now. I'm going to shoot our sit rep. Even though you heard most of it, it's going to be a condensed version of what we just did. But the rest of the days that you're not with us, you obviously want to be in the sit rep. All it is name and email to sign up here, guys, okay? Yes, thank you. You bet. You're welcome. It is. Somebody just said this is all free. This week is all free, but tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening when we do the vertical spread training, I am going to open the slots and you can start grabbing your slots. So a couple people have already been asking about how you sign up. I'm pretty honored after just doing last night and today's live trade brief, even with the unprofessional lateness or me in the long room, that you're looking to become a member. So thank you. But I fire the starting gun for this everybody at the same time. I don't let people grab slots early, okay? All right, folks. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. I'll see many of my members, current members, tonight. We do have options weapons school training at 7. And what are we doing? I think we're doing iron condors or double verticals tonight. Either one, we're going to have a blast tonight. So I'll see many of my members tonight at 7. I'll see potential new members tomorrow night at 7. That's when you guys get a look at our vertical spread training. Well worth it for the strategic brief alone. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. All right, guys. God bless, and I'll talk to many of you guys tomorrow.